Hey designer friends, I've got a great question. Bushboy567 left a comment on a previous video. The question is, in some YouTube videos, I see the view icons embedded inside the document tab, i.e. not displayed in the usual palette rows above the document, as you have in this video. So, click a different document tab and the icons change depending on what was set up for that tab. I would like to explore that option, but nowhere can I find how to do this. In any version, can this be done in 24/25? This is a good question. It took me a few reads to understand what it was that we were going for here, but I think I've figured it out. And Bushboy, take a look at this. Let me know if this helps you. And of course, everybody else is watching. I hope this helps you as well. What we're talking about, I believe, is... Hey friends, quick message from our sponsor, Tangibly, of course. Looking to skill up to make your next quarter even more productive? Do you have a training budget you need to spend before fiscal year end? We train teams and solos on Vectorworks software at Tangibly. After 10 years in business, we have completely overhauled our online courses, creative cohorts, and our team training. Check out tangibly.com, that's Tangably, or click the link in the description for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and end of year specials. Don't miss out. Thank you so much for all your support over the years. Back to the video. What we're talking about, I believe, is Multiple View Pane. Now, this feature came out a few years back, and to be honest, I have not gotten into the habit of actually using the feature that often. I have a really large screen in front of me. It's 43 inches, which measures 24 by 36, which is an architectural D-size sheet of paper. But I'm in the habit of just using one view still on the computer. And I think it comes from my days of using the laptop primarily. As I traveled a lot, working on design, there wasn't a lot of screen on the laptop to actually give up, so to speak, for multiple views. But I should really get into the habit now that I have multiple monitors set up. So multiple view pane may actually be helpful for you as well. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So we'll see here on my screen, I have a project set up. I only have one view. Let's activate Vectorworks. I can fly around inside this bowl. And of course I could change views. We do have the view cube now in Vectorworks 2025. So if I want to take a look at particular views like this, it's a little bit easier to see if we go to, I'm on wide perspective. Let's go to orthogonal mode. We can take a look at different views here in the model. If we go back to the top, we can even click on the top of the view cube and switch this to a two-dimensional view. Doesn't look so good here, but yeah, so there's some image fills there on the PDF I believe we used as reference. Anyway, so not to digress, we have one view and there's a couple different ways to get document tabs, and I don't believe this is what we're talking about, but if we see in the window, show document tabs, window menu, show document tabs, if we click on that, then we get these tabs of the documents. It looks like this one's actually set up with what I believe that Bushboy is asking about, but we can cycle through the different documents if we have document tabs open or visible. I actually prefer to save that bit of screen real estate and go to the to not show the document tabs so we have our full screen. And then if I actually want to look at different documents, those are listed here in the window menu. I can go to the Untitled, I can go to Arena Bowl. Well, you'll see a little preview there in Untitled is that that view pane tab is actually what I think that Bushboy is talking about, what they're looking for at least. So how do we do that? If we go to view, so it's not in the window menu as you might expect with palette options or even this show document tabs options, which I don't know, maybe it would make more sense to be there, but it's actually in the view menu. If you go to view and then multiple view panes and then enable multiple view panes. That's the long way to get there. The other cool thing is you can use the letter M on your keyboard. And I've actually set up multiple views already in this document, but if you have not, let's just open a new document here so I can show you what it might default to if you use multiple view panes. So we have an untitled document. If I type the letter M, then you'll see that it splits my screen into 4. I feel like that is probably a document default if you haven't already messed with multiple view panes in this particular document. So in this document, the nice thing about having these is we have a top plan, we have a right isometric, front. So these are some standard views that it populates, but we have no model here in this space. But let me go ahead and draw something really quick. So we could just draw a square and extrude that square, and you'll see that, or a rectangle is more what it is, but you'll see that we see that rectangle from multiple different points of view, which is really helpful, especially if you're in a document like maybe this large bowl or arena. We've already hit the letter M. Notice the letter M toggles on and off this little tab here in the upper left-hand corner. Well, one thing that you can do, you'll see the shortcut in the thumbnail for this video. Let's go back to that other document, Untitled 2. One thing that we can do is close. So we've already used the letter M to open multiple view panes. But let's say that I only want 2 view panes open. How do I close these others? If I click on that tab, I can right click and close the active view pane and right click on this one and close the active view pane. And we only have two views, left and right, and we can set those views to wherever we want. We can even use the view cube, which is independent in each view now. So as we click on that, we'll see that the view cube only relates to the exact view of that view pane itself. So we close those, and the reason why I leave that open is because it may default you've got 4 views and you think you might be stuck. You're actually not stuck at all. You can close these views. The nice thing is Bushboy actually commented on this as well, mentioned that you get a little icon of the, it looks like top plan icon and a 3D icon. It looks very similar to the view cube. As we see the view cube here in 3D, it's a cube. We've got a cube up there. The difference is, as I change this view, dynamically the view cube shows us if it's in an isometric, or even if we set it to perspective. So we'll change this to normal perspective or even wide perspective. We see that the view cube, well, we don't get a perspective cube, unfortunately. That would be a really cool graphic. Doesn't look like it, at least, not appearing on my side. Yeah, it looks orthogonal. So maybe an update to come, but here we go. We see this view on the right-hand side, and that little icon doesn't change. It doesn't change to perspective. It doesn't even rotate like the view cube does. So one thing I mentioned in my reply to Bushboy was that it might be nice to see these things merge eventually, in that we have the one thing that's nice, we see that it's a custom view. We also see the design layer that is active. If you don't have multiple views on, you have no active design layer. You actually have to go to your drop-down list of your navigation palette to see what design layer is active. So it's really nice to have that little, this little shortcut here, I guess, or a little bit of a descriptor. We'll call it a descriptor, saying that that is a custom view in design layer 1. But if we go to top plan, we see that it's in top. It's not actually top plan. We have to switch that to 2D. Now it says top plan design layer 1. That could be really helpful. Well, how do you get these? How do you get this helpful little tab up here without having multiple view pane? Well, multiple view pane needs to be activated. So with the letter M, we've activated that, but we want to go and actually close active view pane. And then now we have just one multiple view pane that we can toggle on and off just with the letter M that opens that tab and closes that tab. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that open. But the other cool thing is, so we have one view pane like this. So we've just got one view pane. We can split that again, and we want to split it horizontally. So you might get a nice landscape view of your cube. So I'm going to go back to the other file because it's got something a little bit more interesting to look at. So we'll take a look at the Arena Bowl in Greensboro. And we see here that we have technically multiple view panes activated. If I hit the letter M, then we get rid of that little tab. But I can split this horizontally and we'll get a top view and a bottom view. Let's say we want a little bit more room. You can actually drag those little dividers in between your multiple view pane, resize those view panes, and then you can independently set these views with the view cube if you want, or even, the other ways to adjust and change your view. So you might want to see an elevation view of that, or even use a clip cube. So if we go into an isometric view by just hitting one of these corners and take a look at the clip cube, will the clip cube be active in both views? It actually is. And so we can cut a little section through that. Take a look at the left side. We want to go look at the front side. So we see a section of the bowl, but it looks like we do have to have the clip cube active in both views. But the nice thing is we can rotate around this section, go in there and work on our model. We can change this to a perspective view if we want to, and work inside of the arena. So modeling whatever the show might be, or maybe some of the sponsor wraps that are on the seating areas. Anyway, we got a multiple view pane this way. Toggle that on and off, which is the letter M on the keyboard. And there's one more thing, and that is to float. Float is actually pretty cool if you've got a multi-monitor setup. Maybe you're going through a design meeting. If you go to multiple view pane with the letter M, right click on that little document tab, or I guess it's a view pane tab, not a document tab. And then what we want to do is create floating view pane, float for short. We create this floating view pane, and it is no longer anchored to the application window of Vectorworks. We can move this to any of the monitors that we have connected to our system. So I'm going to float this over to my laptop that I've got here to the left-hand side. But if your screen mirror to a external monitor or a television that is maybe mounted to the wall in your studio, your office, you can put that view pane on the other monitor and resize that. And that view is independent. You can change that just like you do these other view panes. So we can close that, close active view pane. I have one view on the left side or on my main monitor that you're seeing here. And then over on my other laptop screen, I have a completely independent live view of the model. I hope that helps in your workflow. Tell me in the comments below, what might you use multiple view pane for in your line of work? If you like this kind of video and you want to see more of it, you know what to do. Like, subscribe down below. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Keep the great questions coming in.